The first thing that comes is the consent signing. I'll tell you about my experience. I was given the form, two languages, one in English and Hindi, but I was never explained that these are the things. यहाँ पे sign कीजिएगा. I signed. I was admitted in the IPD and I was wearing a full sleeve pullover. Two young nurses came to collect sample, and I asked, what do you want to do? They said, they showed me the vacuitainers. They didn't even have time to, explain. So, and they said, pull up your sleeve. I did. And instead of a tourniquet, they tied a glove, hand gloves here. I did not want to interrupt, just wanted to see what they were planning to do. And they were trying to find the antecubital vein here. They could not. I could see the needle going inside, coming out again, going inside. No blood was there. And finally, they did a double puncture and there was a hematoma. And that was enough, I said. I said, ma'am, why don't you try on my other hand or call somebody else? Get a proper tourniquet and then tie it up properly, check the antecubital vein and then collect the blood. They said, okay, sir. And somebody came. Again, tourniquet was tied. They did not, I asked, for what do you want to collect the blood sample? They said, we want to do some tests. They did not have the patience to, the previous day I had my CBC done, the LFT done, my renal function tests done. They drew the sample, they did not explain. They drew the sample again, they took the sample again on the second day, I'm in the hospital, and my tests were done. So there was a repetition on this. Now, my question was, why do I have to donate blood twice? And I'm sure there are instances where, people are exposed to, unnecessary radiations in the form of X-rays and CT scans and other those things. So I feel that right now also we are, going to share our experiences, but I think that this should not be confined to the four walls here. People who are involved, I teach quality in many institutes, and few of my students from IIM Shillong are here. We had detailed discussions on this, but I feel that I, as a patient, I have felt or experienced what we teach and what we actually follow in the hospital. There's a big gap. We talk about NABH, the full accreditation, we talk about JCI, people from ISCO are also here, my respected seniors are also here. But I think there's a big gap in this, and that is where I think we should focus on. So at the end of the day, we are working for the patient.
Thank you so much. Thank you. And I think this is a great point that made. I believe that in India, the attrition rate in hospitals could be anywhere upwards of 30%. So when we have an accreditation process, everybody is very alert. They are taught about accreditation and what to do. But then newer people are always coming. They're not ingrained in the culture. So this is a constant journey. It's not a one-time accreditation or not a one-time audit that we go through.
By the way, this was done in one of the best hospitals in the country, located here in Delhi NCR, and NABH full accredited, and the JCI hospital. JCI was, they got the accreditation later, but when I was admitted, it was NABH full accredited hospital.
Thank you. Malti, can we shift over to you? You're far away there, but share your experience and.
Hello, everyone. So as everyone said, I'm here as a patient. I'm a known case of Crohn's disease. I'm on triple immunosuppressive therapy currently. And I don't know whether you believe, maybe you will think that I'm looking slim and thin now. I was 35 kg before 1.5 years, but actually I'm gaining weight. So when people look at me and say, you're thin, actually I say, I'm gaining weight and I'm happy now. So, but what went wrong? We are all here to talk about a patient point of view. What went wrong? Every time when I visited the clinician, that something is wrong in my body. As a patient, he or she who owns the body will know something is wrong. It's been 8 years. Every time when I visited the emergency department, the gastro department, I was telling that something is wrong, wrong, wrong. But every time I was told it's normal. Everything is normal. Your blood investigations is normal. Your imaging is normal. You look normal. You come to duty. You're working normal. So please go back. It's nothing wrong. And every time I was loaded with a lot of morphines, a lot of sedatives. And after some point, they said, go to a psychiatrist. They said, you are an anxious person. You are hyperactive. So you're thinking too much. That's why you're not coming and accepting that you are perfect. So as I was put upon antidepressive, I was put upon anti-anxiety drugs. And after some time, when I ended up in the emergency department for laparotomy, where I have lost now my 2 feet of my gut, then they accepted. So at the point in the ED, I asked my consultant, you never believed me. I said something was wrong. So as a patient, I request all the healthcare professionals here, always please listen to your patients. We know something is wrong. Yes, maybe some investigations may show normal, but you have to believe in your patients. We have been told from childhood that we don't lie to doctors, we don't lie to lawyers. So a patient will never lie to a doctor. So that's the major problem. If I would have been diagnosed 8 years before, I wouldn't have landed up in surgery. So that's the take-home message I wanted to convey to every healthcare worker here. Please listen to your patients so that we can avoid major complications. If I have time, another major point, I was in ICU for 60 days. I was in hospital for 3 months and I was in deathbed. But I wanted to get the word from my consultant, whom I believed a lot. Every day I wanted to see him, at least once in 2 days. When I begged to see him, I could never see him because if I see him, I feel like I'm seeing a God who tells me whether I will live or not. So the opportunity to see whom you want, which consultant you want. As a patient, I have the rights. I want to see this person. A junior comes and says that you're okay. I don't believe that's a patient point. Yes, I'm a healthcare worker. I know that something is wrong or bad or good, but I want to have that belief and confidence to survive back. The same for caregivers. Please ask the doctor to talk to the caregivers. My mom and dad was crying. My twin boys came and they cried seeing me in the deathbed. If the doctor would have assured my mom, dad, and my twin kids, they would have been satisfied. So that assured, I know we can't assure 100%, but the conversation should go beyond, which is being neglected, especially if you're doctors. The presumption that we know everything and the lack of communication is a major problem for us, especially those with chronic disease. So that's the message I wanted to share.
Thank you. Thank you so much for sharing this. And I think this is a great segue, right? You mentioned about empathy that, you would have loved if the doctors and the nurses there had come and spoken and given comfort to your parents. And I think empathy is a very important thing. And I think, Sheetal, that's a very good segue for you to come in. She's not a doctor, but what she does is healing. And she has her own way and she runs this nice company. And you talk about it very briefly and then talk about what's the impact that you have seen.
Hi, good morning. So it's a non-profit that I run. It's called Counselors Foundation. The therapy we do is called medical clowning.
Can you put it up a little?
So the first thing, let's start with a simple truth. Patients are not just cases. They are simple humans who are extremely afraid and in a deep need of connection. So the first thing when a patient enters a hospital, the first thing they lose is a smile. How many of us actually see a patient smiling? So when as a medical clown, I walk into a hospital and in wards, I don't walk in with a stethoscope, but with a red nose. If any of you have seen a clown, this nose is our smallest mask. And how does it help? Why does it matter when we talk about patient safety or patient-centric care? What does that mean? Why is it important to bring patient to the center? Because healing is not just emotional well-being. Healing is not just physical recovery, but also emotional well-being. It is a mind-body connection. And if I have to share, so we've been doing clowning for 8 years now. And we have had so many experiences where we've seen healing happen. So every Saturday we visit this hospital called Chacha Nehru Bal Chikitsalaya, where there was this young girl who we were told that she will not survive. She had multiple failures, and one thing that stayed constant while her health was deteriorating was that she was always asking for the clown, and she wanted us to dance on a Salman Khan song. So if you remember that Tal step, so that is one step that she wanted all of us to do. So there came a time when she could not even move. She would only blink, and all the clowns had to be around her bed dancing for her. After 3 months, she actually went back, healed, and she walked out of the hospital. This is the same person who we were told will not survive. Did clowning heal her? Definitely not. But it gave her strength and something to look forward to every week. And that helped her fight with the disease. Why does this matter? Why should we look at emotional well-being or about this whole healing? Because like Sir mentioned, it is about empathy. We are dealing with people here. So if we keep looking at the disease and if we keep treating the disease, we are missing out the person. But the moment we start looking at the person, the healing will happen. How? Because when a person is feeling emotionally safe, like even when ma'am was sharing that nobody was listening to her despite being a doctor, or both the doctors when they were sharing, there is this sense that we are not in control of the situation, and we are constantly feeling that there is kind of a distress that happens. But the moment we start feeling emotionally safe in a hospital, trust starts building. Cooperation will happen better. And then the body will respond better, simply because of mind-body connection. And that's where medical clowning meets patient safety. And as a medical clown, when we enter a hospital ward, we give control to the patient. So it's up to them whether they want to engage with us, they want to just watch, they want to laugh. And we kind of try to match their energy. We don't try and perform for them. We don't say, hey, look at us. So a simple act like this. Hi, sorry, I'll use you again. Hi. 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 Oh, hi. 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 So something as simple as this, but it is actually giving the patient the control to what they want to do. If they don't want to play with us, they will not play with us. So for those of you who do not know what medical clowning is, it's a therapy wherein we dress up as clowns, just the wig and the nose. We have some puppets, we do some storytelling, and we try and engage with each patient one-on-one for 3 to 4 minutes. The idea is that they should heal, they should start smiling and they feel better. And for a little moment, they gain control of how they want to feel. When we talk about healing, it's a holistic approach. We are not just saying that there should be medical clowning, but arts therapy, music therapy, sound healing, any of these therapies could come in. So now we have also started training medical professionals into these approaches, which ensure that empathy is embedded in the healthcare system. So it is not just looked at as an add-on process, people coming in and doing it. So it's not just a business for us, but people who are inside the system are actually focusing on the human. When they enter and start doing the procedures, they smile and they speak to them. And that would change something in the healthcare system itself. So in the end, I would just want to say that when we are giving out prescription, can we also give prescription for doses of laughter? And as a reminder, and laughter always acts as a reminder that healing is possible. So for me, my hemoglobin for 30 years was 9.5. No amount of beetroot juice, carrot juice helped. At 30, I started clowning. And now my hemoglobin is 14 or 15. It has not gone down. So that's the power of laughter.
Thank you, Sheetal. I think when you, all of you as healthcare providers, when you now see a doctor, think of her, smile, remember the red nose, and I think you would be, your emotions will be very positive. I have a question to the three of you, not to you, Sheetal. You've been doctors, you're also patients. What every person in the hospital actually wants to serve, right? The nurse comes in to serve, the doctor comes in. What holds back? What holds back the engagement? And anything else that you wanted to add?
I'd like to use Dr. Ezekiel's presentation that it is patient engagement and nothing about me without me. And yes, Mr. Mittal, you had mentioned that doctors don't have enough time. And I would like to again point this presentation that well, there is a team. You can utilize that. Psychologists, social workers, dietitians, and doctors. But being doctors does not stop us from being a psychologist or a social worker or a dietitian. And we have to be open to learning everything every day. And I think a positive regard for your patient. He may know more than you. Because yesterday when we were planning the session, I learned a couple of things from Mr. Mittal about MRI. I wish you would share that. So that was a learning experience for me. Please be open, listen to your patients. They may know more. Empathy is very important. I think teamwork is supremely important. And it is all about the patient, isn't it? So it's a
5 minutes.
patient-centric treatment that we are supposed to be giving.
I would request this is the last
Thank you
5
so much.
minutes.
I feel there are three factors which can be considered. In our medical college, we were taught about anatomy, physiology, biochemistry, medicine, surgery. We were never taught about, how to deal with the patient. What we learned is what we saw from our seniors. Number one. Number two is the attitude which we as clinicians have. Maybe we do not want to spend too much time with the patient at times. Number three is, and maybe especially in the government hospitals across the country in India, we have huge patient load. A few of my seniors, they have to, attend to somewhere around 60, 70 patients within a span of few hours. There's no time for, to explain what is there. Also, it depends on the attitude. And for the nurses also, this is something which I have felt personally. Because the shortage of nurses maybe, or maybe because of the training and the other things which are imparted to people. We were never taught about this. Now that this NABH and the accreditation and all those things have come, we have got the further figure of quality, Geda Gyanisa, Tupil sir and other people are here. I think that the wave that has been created in the last 2 decades, it has changed. But I come from a tier 2 city. We still have the same kind of, except for Guwahati, which has got the largest number of big hospitals and accredited hospitals. The other cities are still lacking. There's nothing, we still follow that conventional kind of practice.
Well, they can just briefly mention.
So with regards to chronic disease, engagement of patients is more vital than any other acute disease. So right from the planning of therapy, where we have multiple options of drugs, the patient should be engaged in choosing the right drug. With why this drug, is there any alternate options, what are side effects, because they're going to take the drug for quite a long period, maybe till death. So patient engagement starts from the treatment planning. And follow-up is a major problem in chronic diseases. Patients, once they feel like I'm feeling normal now, I may not go back to my consultant. How to engage the patient? Who is going to contact? So like we have somebody called IBD nurse. They call me every Thursday. So that's the way the nurse engages me and reminds me that whether I'm okay, I'm taking drugs. So that's how we can engage from the hospital point of view. Otherwise, in the busy schedule, we forget everything if we are normal and happy. So that's most important for chronic diseases to engage.
Thank you very much. Yeah, there was this whole question on time.
No, just wanted to, thanks again for your presentation and contributions. I'd just like to mention that, after my colleague question about what we can do, I have the sense that we need to let go the intention that care is only provided by one person, either a physician, nurse, or social worker, whoever. We're a team. And we are also teams inside health systems. So as time went by, I still practice. I try to tell the people that trust me as patients that not being cared by me, they're being cared by a system. So engagement will do better whenever we not rely on one people, but on a system of people or teams. Hopefully that happens. That's one thing. So and also volunteers, as you were saying, that people that are not probably trained as clinical providers, but they do a lot in different ways inside care facilities. And just to mention, I look for this simple intervention about engagement, which this ask me these 3 questions. I don't know, are these in the report? Are these in the real report? They asked me 3? Okay, well, so read his report, okay? The Cahocon report of patient engagement has these 3 questions that should be asked every time we see a haircut provider to understand better what's happening to any of us.
Thank you. And since you mentioned it, I went for an MRI myself about 6 months back, and I was very tired running around and I'd come empty stomach, and I was feeling very thirsty. So I asked the technician, "Can you get me a glass of water?" And he said, "Sorry, you can't drink water." But I said, "I'm parched." So he said, "Okay, take a sip. It'll wet your lips, but don't drink it." And I asked him, I said, "I've never heard of not having water." He said, "Sir, we are doing your MRI and I have soft tissues. The imaging will get affected if you drink water because the water molecules affect." And that was knowledge for me, right? And hence, I think this technician engaged with me, asked me, when I asked a question, he didn't say, "Google pad ke aaya hai, kya hai," he actually answered, and I'm educated, not that education, I don't have to get the MRI again. So this has been a great session. It's never enough to hear patients' voice, and I think that's it. But I'm going to ask Dr. Rana to do the tough job of summarizing what we could pick up.
Thank you. Thank you, Somsa. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Educal, for your presentation and all. Thank you. Actually, thank you, all of you who are here in the early morning to be with us. And there are several stories similar to them, but the thing is, are we learning from them? We keep talking, and I'm very blunt on that. I'm sorry to say that. We can continue talking for decades, and we have been talking for decades in the last several years. Anything changed? Yes, things change, no doubt about it, but those changes are in tune with what we supposed to have those changes in place. And it's very difficult, as you said, sir, to summarize what, but I think it's my job at the moment is to really, acknowledge your contribution, not only for yourself, your family, but the whole of the society, which are looking for the volunteers like you to come forward and share your stories. So I would like to briefly say some of the points as takeaways. And it's up to you whether you take it or you leave it here. It's entirely in your hands. So first thing, listen to your patients. And that is missing. And I have been patient many times, and I have not that severe, but close to that. So please listen to your patients. Whatever they say, don't think they are saying something nonsense. Maybe for a healthcare professional, they sounds me something nonsense, but not for them, not for us as a patient. When we call a nurse, "Hey, I'm having pain." "Oh no, it's happened. It's usual in this type of problem." Maybe different, maybe something else. And we had a very good discussions. We are not able to produce everything here in this short time, but those are the things which we need to consider. And again, I think we have been talking about patient-centric care, but do we realize what is patient-centric care? Patient-centric care means what we shifted from a disease treatment to patient to a person-centric care. So person-centric care or people-centric care means the patient in the center, the family around, and the community around. It's not just patient, because many times patient is not in a situation to listen to your comments. The family does. So we need to engage with the family as well to really provide the patient-centric care. And empathy has absolutely come forward. Empathy need to be embedded in our healthcare delivery systems. And also, what we talk about is that many times we feel these are normal things for you as a healthcare worker, as a doctor, physician, nurses, or whatever it is, because you are doing the same job, maybe with different people. correct? So you think it's my another day, but think about the patient. For them, it's the only day. And they are different. Every time they are different. And you should not think, oh, I have been collecting blood for last 20 years. Maybe I'm not having that much of blood in my body, like you say, multipunctures, you know. So I think these are the things which we need to look at. So we are talking about patient safety, how we engage with patients in the better care and safer care of the patients. And if you remember what WHO DG, Dr. Tedros mentioned a few years ago, is if it is not safe, it is not a care. It's a very powerful statement. If it is not safe, it is not care. And I think time has come, we have to start, act now, not tomorrow or day after tomorrow. We have to start from now. And I would urge every one of you to have a commitment before you leave this hall that yes, we would work all together, committed together for making life of the patient more safe. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir. We would request the moderators to please wrap up this session as we have to run into another one. Can I request all the moderators and speakers to please assemble for a group photo? And can I have the photographer as well? Thank you, Dr. Ezekiel. Thank you, moderators. Thank you, speakers. I would request Dr. Som Mittal to please stay back. So I think the new definition for democracy in a hospital is to the patient, of the patient, for the patient. That's how I would like to summarize this session. And before we go into our next session, we have a quick launch of what Mr. Som mentioned, is the launch of a patient consent education material, which is done in 7 languages. For this, I'd like to invite the lead, Dr. Adil Khan and his team. Dr. Adil represents Tulu Health, which is an initiative of Patient for Patient Safety Foundation by Cahocon. Request Dr. Adil.
Before that, may I request the audience to greet each other, because Sheetal was mentioning that each person needs 8 hugs a day to feel good. So either you hug each other, the person sitting next to you, or at least greet each other. Audience?
Can we have everybody just stand up and probably give a warm handshake to the person next to you? Or if you're still afraid of
Welcome
COVID,
to the nonprofit digital patient consent and patient education platform, a collaboration between Cahocon and Patients for Patient Safety Foundation, powered by Tulu Health, India's first AI.
Dr. Adil LT. Thank you, Mr.
We understand preparing for surgery can be overwhelming at times. Obtaining informed consent is crucial for every procedure. It protects both patients and healthcare providers. To help you feel more confident, we provide consent forms along with educational materials to keep you informed of every step in your own language. It's about empowering patients to understand their care, treatments, and options. Our platform simplifies this process, combining education and consent into one seamless, patient-friendly experience. Patient can simply find the procedure they are undergoing and download the consent form either in text or audio format for free. We offer patients tailored educational materials about their procedure or treatment in the form of videos, infographics, and easy-to-read documents in their language of choice. Healthcare providers can find consent forms for any medical interventions like blood transfusions, invasive procedures, and even certain high-risk treatments like chemotherapy on this platform in multiple languages, starting with English, Hindi, Marathi, Kannada, and Telugu for free. On top of that, we also have the latest version of the standard operating procedure for creating consent forms, which was prepared by the Institute of Medicine and Law. Using Caho's digital consent and patient education platform will ensure that every patient is fully informed, reducing risks and improving compliance.
But here are ready-made videos that are here. So instead of spending the time, I think you have infographics, videos that will be on the websites of Caho. Everybody can access it. Hospitals can download it. So you don't have to spend time to do it. And I just heard these gentlemen talking about that these videos and text is going to be produced in various languages.
Yeah, so we have just made sure that anybody, even without proper health literacy, can actually access this consent form, because that's the biggest pain point. Patients tend to sign those consent forms without any knowledge what's written in those consent forms. As a result, there's misinformed decision makings and even end up leading to medical legal cases against doctors. So our consent forms are not just in multiple languages, but on top of it, they're also in video formats, so that patient can actually just listen and see without even literacy to even read it. So we are making sure that patient makes an informed decision. We're empowering them, and at the same time, we are making sure that doctors are safe and reducing the medical legal risk. I hope you all use it. It's a free solution available on Caho's website. You can find the link, and looking forward to your feedback. Thank you.
It has got three parts in it. One is your about the disease in a descriptive way. Then there is one which is in a form of pictures, which the patient, anybody can understand. And then we have the consent form and a small video link, which the patient can see. That's the four parts of it. Thank you.
Thank you, Tulu Health. Thank you, Swam sir. With this, we proceed to session 11.
For our next session on collaborative research to enhance quality and patient safety, please join me in welcoming our moderators, Dr. Rahul Deshmukh, Medical Director and HOD Anesthesiology, Medcare Orthopedics and Spine Hospital, Dubai, UAE, and Dr. Pratish Ravindran, HOD and Professor Neurosurgery, Deputy Medical Superintendent, Super Specialty Services, Mahatma Gandhi Medical College and Research Institute, Puducherry.
Along with this, the topic is collaborative research for enhanced quality and patient safety. I'd like to invite the moderators, Dr. Dato Ravindran Jagasathi, the speaker, Counselor and Chief Surveyor, MSQH, Professor Satish Chandra, Professor, College of Medicine, Regional Director, Medical Research, Johns Hopkins Medicine, and Counselor Seha, Middle East, Dr. Joseph John, Professor and Head, Department of Clinical Hematology and Bone Marrow Stem Cell Transplantation from CMC Ludhiana, and Dr. Chinmay Shah, Professor and Head, Department of Physiology and Additional Medical Superintendent, Government Medical College and Sir T Hospital, Bhavnagar, Gujarat. Moderators, stage is all yours, and please keep a watch on time. We have 40 minutes for the session.
Good morning. Firstly, thank you to Caho for giving us this opportunity to share our thoughts on collaborative research, because this, I believe, and I'm sure the entire team believes, that this is the need of the hour now. We are dealing with increasingly complex healthcare situation and with limited resources. Day by day, the resources available for healthcare and for research are shrinking. And hence it is very important to join hands, not only amongst ourselves, but with academia, with industry, and come up with how do we make our patients more safe? Obviously, we spoke about patients for patient safety. This is next step of that, to come up with more research, not only in the field of pharma, but also in fields of healthcare quality and patient safety. And that's the aim. That's the aim of this session as well. We will be sharing, obviously the panelists will be sharing their views on collaborative research. How does one go about it? And what has Caho done so far, and what are the further steps for collaborative research? Thank you.
So good morning, everyone, and welcome to this session. As Dr. Rahul explained, now we all as hospitals and in healthcare workers and the entire, all the healthcare professionals involved, we do a lot of safety. But then when you look at the larger picture, to actually get the things implemented, we have to go about it in a little methodological, the methodology has to be proper. And when we talk about research as a word to healthcare professionals and all that, even amongst clinicians, it is something which is a little uncomfortable because it's a wide field and there is a lot into it. But there is a little bit of difference and quite a bit of a difference between the kind of, although the basics are the same kind of research we talk about, which is related to patient care and about quality and safety. So there's a difference. So now our aim through this